right, marketers, grab your overpriced standing desks and that oat milk latte you love so much, because welcome to Notorious B2B, the only show where we treat LinkedIn drama like breaking news and expose the real B2B marketing sins.
Yeah, think of us like SNL meets TMZ, but for the people who argue about whether gated content is still a thing or not. I'm Task Bober, B2B landing page nerd and lovable troll on LinkedIn.
And I'm Tim Davidson, the guy making TikTok-style videos and cutting fruit on LinkedIn. Together, we're cutting out nonsense and roasting the most ridiculous trends in B2B marketing.
Because if we have to suffer through another 10 things getting engaged taught me about B2B sales, we're taking you all down with us.
Let's get into it.
Okay, now, first of all, welcome to Notorious B2B. Tim is not here because he felt the need to gallivant all over inbound and then tell me literally this morning, hey, by the way, we're not doing the podcast. Can you do it solo? And I said, yeah, I could do it solo, but I also could do the task thing, which is harass people I know to get them to drop everything they're doing today and come on the podcast. So I sent a message, which I don't have all of you in a group chat.
Okay, but one question I do have for you is that how far down were we the list?
You were second, if that makes you feel better.
Yeah, second from the bottom. So
No.
then
Not second from the bottom. And I will say you were texted second, but you weren't in priority of second because I shot the text out to each group like a second away from each other. And I was like, whoever responds first is going to get it. So technically first.
She also forgot to tell you there were only 2 people on her list.
Those are the only 2 I messaged. I only messaged 2 groups. Otherwise, I was going to do it solo. So for people who are listening and they're like, who the hell is she talking to? I invited the We're Not Marketers crew. In the agenda, it is UNM, which is basically B2B's, NWA, is here on the pod. We're doing a mashup, Notorious B2B, with these guys. They don't work for anybody, so they can talk a lot of shit. And that's what I'm looking forward to. Right?
So much shit.
So much shit. We're going to talk.
I've just been liberated. So the amount of shit talking I'm ready to deliver is very high.
Tim's not here and he's always like, no free plugs, no free plugs. But you know what? I'm going to let you guys do free plugs today.
Whoa. What does he normally do? Like someone plugs and then he's like, yeah, if you want that to hit the episode. Here's how much it's going to cost you.
No, I can't even mention a tool I use because he'll be like, no free plugs. Why? No free plugs. Okay.
No free advertisement.
No free advertising. Okay, so WNM crew, please introduce yourself to all 5 of our listeners.
Zach goes first.
Yeah, sure. Where do I start? Hey, this is Zach Roberts on the mic. I'm calling in from Mexico City. I'm not allowed to speak Spanish during the duration of this episode.
Perfect.
That is a fact. I'm Eric Holland. And I have a lot of shoes that I do wear. And that's not just a trophy case behind me.
This is what you guys are plugging? Okay. All right. Maybe you'll do better. Come on, let's hear it.
I'm Gab Bugeaud, and I yap on a podcast with these guys for a living. So,
wow. Okay. So, oh my gosh. Terrible.
Look at how afraid of Tim we are.
Yeah.
That just shows exactly how afraid we are.
Wow. That was a little bit pathetic, guys. I'm not going to lie.
The instructions you gave, I thought you meant like save the plug for the end. Like you never plugged the beginning.
Well, we want to lower your expectation first.
Okay. Well,
and then finishing on a high.
All 3 of you run product marketing consulting shops. So in different areas of product marketing. And maybe we'll talk about that at the end, right? We'll do the demo at the end. First, we have to go through
the plug goes at the end.
Yes. First, we have to go through the 600 slides. Yeah. 600 slides first, right? And then we'll get to pricing and the demo at the end.
No. Pricing. We got to get through at least 6 calls.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay. So this is how it's going to go today, since clearly you guys are not avid fans of the podcast, and I deeply regret inviting you over here. Although I will say all my closest friends don't actually listen to it. I don't know. All right. So first thing, we're going to give you guys a softball here. It's nothing like super crazy. You may not be marketers, but you're definitely in B2B, right? Is that we establishing that? Okay, perfect. So just flagging. Figma recently went public, as we know. We all love Figma, right?
Yeah.
But after they went public, their shares plunged 19 to 20% after its first earnings report, disappointing investors despite a modest beat in earnings. So they set very, very high expectations, as B2B loves to do. We love to say, hey, we make 18 million ARR, but our valuation is $206 billion, right? Hashtag B2B math. And then we fall short and everyone's freaking shocked, right?
Yep.
You guys are product marketers. How bad is this for them, you think?
Well, how bad is it for them? We got to worry about me right now. I bought some shares and I'm down. I'm down, Tass.
This is a personal problem.
What?
This is a personal story.
Just total return. You guys ready for this shit? I'm down 61% on Figma.
No.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Enzo's entire life savings was going to be Figma, and looks like he'll be eating Cracker Jacks the rest of his life.
Yeah, no college.
Yeah, I'm super intrigued because I agree with you. I think the evaluation was crazy. I know a lot of people. I'm involved with a company who's also kind of eyeing the whole thing for their own sake, and that whole idea of staying at 100 plus was super attractive. And I think for whatever reason, we were drinking that Kool-Aid. I was, at least, and that is clearly not the case. So I'm not big on the whole, pump things up when they're not close to that evaluation, both as just average Joe sitting here, but also looking at my Robinhood account, it hurts a little extra.
People still use Robinhood. I thought we were boycotting.
I did. It was like 2 years till I actually made a purchase. So Figma brought me back. Not sure if it was the right decision.
You were browsing.
It was a lazy decision. Yeah, I didn't want to look for an alternative.
Yeah.
That's close.
Let's go. If you take Eric 20, you get 20% off Robinhood.
Yeah, the plug coupon code. He has multiple revenue streams now that he's sold. He used to have a discount code. What's up, Zach?
Tim's gonna beat my ass after this episode.
You were gonna say something, Zach. What's up?
Do you want the product marketing Zach or the corporate finance degree Zach?
Whatever you want to give me that's juicier and not in Spanish. Go.
I got you. So let's do the corporate finance takedown. You'd never want to open up at a very high valuation because it's like, and then we're going back to product marketing. You want to set expectations low and then over deliver. When you start high, it's really hard to what could Figma do that would have gotten a 20% bump on the market? One thing that's clear, Figma doesn't boost revenue.
Yeah. So when companies are doing the 250% ROI claim, we're saying we shouldn't, right? That was my last company. Actually, we ran LinkedIn ads that said, increase your revenue by 250%. I didn't approve the ads. It was painful. I was accountable for the ads, but I did not choose to run them. I did not write the copy, but I had to do the reporting, and it was not fun.
I'm a hard no. Do not report that ever.
There's
so many reasons why, but oh my gosh. Wait, so let me just ask you a question.
Yes.
Imagine what, other than just being fired, because that's the easy answer, what would happen if you didn't post that crazy claim?
Here's what B2B loves to do, as we know, which is one customer will have a wild amount of success, and then we say that is the norm when it is the exception. And that is assuming what happened with that one client is that they saw a 250% increase in return on ad spend from using our product.
I forgot to tell you they're only spending $50.
Yeah. Yeah. But, and percentages are dicey too, right? Percentage sounds better. And it could be something that's like you went from 0.5 to 1.5. Oh, 250%. We love to do shit like that. And so I think it was something like that. And then we were like, oh, we got to use a number. Make sure we're leading with the why. I still remember seeing those words in the frickin' feedback. Make sure we start with the why. Make sure we're always talking about the why. Okay, but what the fuck is it, right? No, that part, we don't need that part, right?
But okay.
Yeah.
Taz, Eric, I have a question for you guys too, because you guys are best positioned to answer this.
Oh no.
If there was a 529 plan in the market that had an ad that said, we are going to boost your child's college fund by 250%. Invest now. Would you guys put your child's college education fund into that account?
Just off that information?
Yeah.
Potentially,
Oh, hell no.
you're saying hell no.
I'm gonna say, how are we going to get there? That's my next question.
Oh,
So
I was like,
just off a I'm like, no, that's a scam.
okay.
So
for
why do we
me,
do it?
I would
Oz
explore.
is like, yeah, let's do it.
I was like, wait a second, because here's the thing: we didn't tell them how or even what. We were just like, you're just going to increase your ad spend or your return on ad spend by 250%. But if you're saying, hey, the 429 you have right now is shit, here's one that will guarantee you a 250% increase. I already know what they're talking about. They've already said it's for my child's future. They understand it's a 420. I know it's a 429. But you're saying if there's an ad that's like 250% ROI, I don't fucking know if it's a CRM, if it's a 429. I don't know what it is. But in this case, I would be informed. And I'm like, then I'd go to Eric's question, which is, I'm intrigued. How are you going to do that? And if it's like, oh, we're going to buy a bunch of Figma shares, I'm going to be like, all right, guys, listen.
What investment is
like me? I was gonna say, or you're a dumb parent like me and have no idea what the 429 even means. So I'm like,
no,
250% scam. 429, what is that? That's weird.
It's 529. It's
now he's saying 529. You're saying 429. I'm like,
isn't it 529 or 429?
I just have a baby that goes to daycare, and then I bring him home and feed him and give him.
I have Canadian taxes stuff.
What are these things?
529. You're right. Fuck.
It's 529.
But we both suck, Taz.
Okay, my husband handled all the investments in our house.
So you guys put $10, like $35. Like you're asking it 3.5 times and would ever guarantee you a 3.5x return. Like that would obviously be a scam, but we say this all the time in B2B.
Yes. And it's acceptable. Completely acceptable. Okay.
Yes.
All right. You know who is not accepting shit? It's LinkedIn. As we know, or you may not know since you don't freaking listen to my podcast, but LinkedIn took Apollo and Seamless AI down. Remember that fiasco?
Yep.
Are they down, like officially?
Yes. This was like a year ago. Get with it. See, if you stayed with our
Forever?
podcast.
No, I know that was your like first episode, but I'm saying like they never came back.
They never came back. They're still not back.
All right, cool.
I check every week. They're not back. And then as time went on, a few more got kicked out, not as big of names. And then a few more, and then a few more. And then they're in the like hundreds now. I can't remember the number. We covered it last time. But there's a latest one. And this one is fun because I get to actually pull up a LinkedIn post with you guys. We're going to read this post. And I also have one where Eric put some spicy comments on a separate post. We'll pull that up too at a later. This is the Call Out podcast, so prepare to be called out. Do you know this guy, Jack Porter?
Never heard of him.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Okay, he, again, if you listen to the podcast, you would know. Co-founder of BirdDog. BirdDog is kind of a data provider too, so like they compete with these guys. BirdDog is also the name of a pants company, and Tim and I had a little bit of an argument there because I was like, it's not pants. Clearly.
Wait, so this is not the pants.
This is not the pants. This is
my
the
God.
data
Okay.
BirdDog.
Got it.
Now, Jack is notorious for posting a lot of unhinged takes on LinkedIn. We've called him out favorably and unfavorably before in the past as well. He's cool with it. We're all good. Okay, so now he goes. LinkedIn just took down a $12 million company, Amplemarket, one of the hottest startups. I haven't heard of them. Have you heard of them? No? No. A company that raised 12 million, 50 plus employees. I can't even tag them. Gone from LinkedIn overnight. Rumors are it's a violation of the terms of service for automating and connecting to LinkedIn data. So they are really doubling down on anyone who connects to LinkedIn or scrapes LinkedIn for information from here and then using it to sell. So companies like Apollo, Seamless, who are using it as a pretty large data source, which is interesting that they're not taking others down like ZoomInfo and the like. But I bet ZoomInfo is somehow playing within the rules, or it's not like a primary data source. But companies that solely rely on LinkedIn data, which is apparently in the hundreds, they're all getting taken down, and LinkedIn's not messing around. So this guy took some time to dig, and under section 8.2.13 of the LinkedIn user agreement, a key feature of Amplemarket was called out as a violation. Use bots or other unauthorized automated methods to access the services, add or download contacts, send or redirect messages, create, comment on, like, share, or reshare posts, or otherwise drive inauthentic engagement. And the company is not alone. LinkedIn shut down multiple others, sued ProxyCurl, which we did cover in a couple episodes before. Seamless and Apollo cut off from LinkedIn data, and now even Amplemarket loses their page. The size does not matter, no matter big or small. They're just going after whoever they can. And then he goes into a pitch about how Bird Dog doesn't do blah, 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 right? No free plugs, bro. Sorry. So free plugs for the pants company, not for him, because we're in B2B. So you can see here that these guys are off. Tim and I had talked about this before, where we said, first they're going to come for the data providers, then they're going to come for all the automated bullshit, right? All the ones that are like automated comments, automated reposts. What's the company? Taplio and stuff like that, where it hooks up, gets the data. Yep. You can make customer lists, blah, blah, blah. And then third is going to come for things like Shield, where it just gives you analytics, but you can hook up anything that hooks up to your LinkedIn. Okay. Eric, you looked very shocked, even though I've covered the story 300 times. Please proceed with your thoughts.
Well, I'm just happy. And I will just say very clearly, if you follow along the old Eric, which this audience probably hasn't, I had a very regularly scheduled post where I'd talk shit on cold emails. And the whole premise of like, you got my information, which I did not give you permission to have. And then you sent me stuff. So like, I am all giggles. When Google made their spam filter changes, I was excited. When I saw Apollo, I love some people over there, but when I saw the company get dinged, I was like, yes. So in general, I'm all for it. And I agree, like they hopefully are taking a similar point of view as me. And that's, my information shouldn't be used for selling unless I've given you some sort of reason to. And they're cracking down. So that should probably turn into things like automated comments, which you're probably using to sell. Automated engagement tools of other kinds, which you're probably using to sell. And so, yeah, I'm all for it. And I'm cool with the hammer getting swung.
All right. On my end, I used to use these tools when I was working in an outbound agency with a lot of BDRs. And at that time, people were always relying on like email, LinkedIn, and then cold calling. And what I've seen is when it started happening, like those companies being shut down, my volume of call, even if I'm in Canada, kind of like quadruple over a couple of days. Like I was receiving lots of calls. So my insight were like people are relying on other channel, but at the end of the day, it's sales. And I think those software, some of them are, I'm not sure if they will be banned by LinkedIn, but at least they are being built to fit the condition of utilization. Like I'm not doing a free plug here, but there's a company that kind of view and engage with your LinkedIn ads and then just track the ROI you can get on your CRM. And like they had some takes on that as well on LinkedIn. So my take is, sales will always improve. There's always drastic changes in software. But at the end of the day, like if you're just building a tool to spam people, and like there was that screenshot of a calendar that is just fully completed 7 days a week. And it was one of the founder of one of the automation tool on LinkedIn, and like people reposted that because they were like, this has no sense. Like you're a 21-year-old just trying to crush sales and being hustle mode. Like it's not sustainable and it's toxic, and they got banned and over. So my take is I'm good with that change, but at the same time, I understand that it's very challenging for a lot of startups and sales team to adapt to that as well.
Yeah, totally.
I'm going to say something complete opposite.
Oh,
And not for the sake of being contrarian, but let's look at it like this. Like we all got garbage at home and we throw it out to the curb. And if someone wants to go and dig through it and resell it, like who cares? Like if people are concerned about their data being resold, don't go on the internet. Don't go on LinkedIn. Like your data is going to get resold regardless if you're on LinkedIn or somewhere else.
Yeah. And I think much like most of B2B, it has nothing to do with the end user, right? Like, fuck us all. They don't give a shit about us. This is between one company saying, we worked so hard to collect all this information, provide this platform where all these dum-dums come here and talk and chit-chat and argue about, gated assets or whatever, right? But then you are like a little leech. You come in here, you use my data that I worked so hard to collect to sell your product. And I think that's the thing. It has nothing to do with us, right? Like, what is the saying? Like, if the product is free, the product is you. And so we are the product. We are not the garbage. I think that's the biggest thing is like, if LinkedIn was like, yeah, you want to scrape company page names, go at it. Like, I don't give a shit. But when they're like, hey, you are monetizing this and I'm not, I want to be the only one to monetize it, right? It's like my daughter. It's like, yeah, I could share my toys with you, little baby brother, but I'd rather shove you to the ground, take it out of your hands, and kick you a little bit, Get out of my room. Get out of my playroom. I was here first, biologically. It's that kind of thing.
How come I can't say that our content's garbage, but you can say that, look, go ahead and kick your little brother on the ground? I'm like, look.
Because it's my podcast.
Good call.
Fair. We're on rented land.
Wait, are your podcast episodes marked E or was just my episode marked E?
We don't got to mark our podcast episodes E because we always fuego.
Oh, interesting. We'll come back to that.
That was, it's not an English word. I just heard at the end there, right?
Oh, strike one. Strike one for him using a non-English word. Okay, proceed. Am I making you guys nervous? Like, what's happening here?
No.
I cannot understand why my kneecaps are sweating, but
okay, so back to the LinkedIn automations and scraping of data. And I'm going to use my stuff, but you can't use my stuff. Go.
My take is, if LinkedIn doesn't want us to use specific type of solution, or if they just don't want them to basically get customers and making more money than them, they can just improve the platform, right?
Ooh.
Like I think that's a take, because, for example, messaging on LinkedIn with DMs is a nightmare. Fix that. Or like, otherwise don't treat the company as leeches, because some of them are very passionate founder, don't want to plug, but if I can plug, I would plug them. But yeah,
takes it so seriously. Yeah, that's actually a really good take, where it's like, well, you could actually just put things in place to make it better. Like Shield wouldn't exist if your analytics were freaking great.
Exactly.
It wouldn't exist if we could organize our inboxes and do automated reposts and shares of our content directly and native in the platform.
Yeah, but I think there's layers of what you can do with LinkedIn. Like, again, spamming my data and then sending me a ping on LinkedIn over and over with messages that doesn't make sense when I'm clearly not your ICP is not a fun experience for the buyer at the end of the day. So,
oh, that's a good response. That was good.
Yeah.
Hey, that was better than your garbage in, garbage out analogy. We'll work on that a little bit later. We'll workshop it later, Zach.
I'm telling you guys, it's like, look, if you don't want garbage, delete your LinkedIn account.
no, listen, Zach's like, yeah, like I just go and throw my mail out and put it in the trash, and I'm cool if someone just takes
rummages through my trash
and takes my mail and
here's
my personal information.
If
scams
it's personal,
me for $100,000.
I will tear it up into little bitty pieces, and I will throw it in my trash and make it unusable.
I know, but I think that's where the analogy fails. Is I don't think we can ask LinkedIn to do.
Just throw out all the profiles that you don't want people using. Okay, what's your take, Eric, before we move to the next story?
Well, no, I'm pretty clear in my take that, like, whether or not their intentions, I agree with them. So I'm cool with the outcome of again, we should not be like, just like, when we were growing up and we're sitting at the dinner table and we get the call from the telemarketer at 6:30, like there's no one from our perspective, the end user, like you said, who appreciates that. I'm cool with it getting tossed out. Whether or not we are the product or they actually do have a soul and care, doesn't matter to me. But you're probably right. It's owned by Microsoft, so they probably do not care about us at all.
The telemarketers never called our household.
Okay, can we say
How would
nice
you- how
things
would you
about
meet-
LinkedIn so that Microsoft actually sponsors us? We tried to call them for sponsorship last time. Anyway.
Microsoft
I
can't
love
lay
everything.
off.
LinkedIn. It's made me the man I am today.
Man, I am today. I mean, kind of. That's why you're going out on your own, right? Okay. Speaking of Eric
Going on
and
my
the
own
and the
because of
man
you.
he is, and the man he is. Let's follow this man around the internet a little bit, okay?
The childish boy that I
This
am.
is gonna be fun. It was just such perfect cosmic timing to like see all of this at the same time as our call today. Okay. So Sarah, how do you say her last name?
I don't know. I gotta
Okay.
find out because
Santanen.
she's the new
Sanatin.
No, Santanen.
she's the
Santanen.
third head of this dragon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So recently hired by Fletch PMM. She is a product marketer on their team, going through her own kind of rapid Fletch style onboarding where she's going to do like 100 companies or something crazy for like a discounted price or something like that to get the reps under her belt. But also as part of the Fletch PMM way, she has been posting her little spicy little takes on LinkedIn, starting with this strategic narrative situation, which I'm going to pretend to understand any of this without no. Listen, I'm a demand gen paid marketer, and then the closest second would be a brand marketer. I'm not even great at that. It's just I'm just like unruly, and that's somehow built a brand. So with her though, she says a bunch of product marketing stuff here. Okay. And I don't know if any of you can give me the TLDR on this post. It did decent, right? But what is she saying? She's basically saying the strategic narrative can apply to multiple companies when it is too broad, or give me a PMM's take. Or sorry, not a PMM's take.
Well, it's like essentially what she's saying is that the way that we all structure stories can be applied to any company, and it's not unique in itself. Like I get where she's coming from, but the same thing can be also said about the hero's journey, and that's always a common theme in movies.
Story brand,
You can,
right?
yes,
I
yeah.
took this differently actually. I'm sure we'll
Okay.
get into it either way.
Yeah. Well, so this is the original post that was posted. Everyone loves it. Everyone loves Fletch. Slow clap. Everyone's
Slow clap.
cool. Move on with their day.
Bring in the dark horse.
This person, who I have talked to her before. She's commented on my post before. So Ranudi, product marketing at Valaris. She said,
very nice lady.
Very nice lady. She said she's not really agreeing with Sarah. So basically she's saying, yesterday, Sarah from Fletch posted a critique of Andy Raskin's strategic narrative, and I take issue with it. Her argument is that a strategic narrative is too generic to be effective. It relies on a big change in the world that multitudes of different companies can use. Now, I can agree on one thing. If you're trying to use it in place of product positioning or trying to use it to pitch buyers in a sales call, you're definitely wasting your time. But here's where I disagree. If you're trying to build a brand strategy to rally people behind your brand, a properly executed strategic narrative is gold. Sarah's position is that if brand and content is the goal, then the solution is to simply build a great POV, one that doesn't rely on using a change in the world. Now, can you build a POV without a strategic narrative based on a change in the world? Of course. But strategic narratives are great for making that POV stronger. Take Fletch's POV. Shit. She took their stuff. They advocate for being clear and focused in your product messaging and positioning instead of trying to appeal to everyone with broad outcomes. Okay, la-di-da-di-da. And then she goes, all POVs can be copied, right? So she's saying that you can even take Fletch's POV and apply it to any number of things. So since Fletch, how many positioning, messaging, and copywriting consultants, freelancers, and agencies have hopped on the be clear about your messaging bandwagon? Dozens. Even a core pillar of the Fletch POV is itself copied from classic business texts. So she says all of this, and then she talks about the effectiveness of POV depends on three things: timing, distribution, expression. And then our very own Eric,
came in
comments
like
on
a
here.
wrecking ball.
Hey, I wish I had my coffee cup with it. I was voted, side note, quick side quest, since we're talking about the hero. me. Okay. So I used to work at this company, Jobs Ohio, and as part of the marketing team, they had like a 90-day onboarding thing at the company. And at the end of the 90 days, it's basically like, okay, we accept you as part of our team. You can work here full time, right? So it's kind of like a probationary period. All employees go through it. But the way the marketing team did it was if someone was like officially in the marketing group, the way they would let you know is to vote for a nickname for you and then get it printed on like stainless steel Yeti and gift that to you. And because I'd come in and I was like, this website sucks, we're changing it, this vendor sucks, they're cheating us, I found 70 grand in wasted spend and all of this stuff, they got me one that says #wrecking ball on it. So I've used that coffee mug for approximately 7 years. Okay, that was me making this about me, but we'll go back to you.
No wonder we're friends.
Okay, so Eric, you wrote a comment, and instead of me reading the comment, I want you to read the comment because you made the comment and it needs to be heard in your voice. Let's go.
100% disagree with everything you have to say here. No offense. I'll use Mojo PMM to explain why I don't need to talk about a big change in the world. Fletch's POV is not messaging should be clear. It's that positioning should live on your homepage, and all B2B software is workflow software. And third, a unique POV's only grading scale is whether or not someone can copy it or not. It's a pass or fail, not a letter grade. Mojo POV example. The problem is that messaging documents are a waste of time because no one knows how to use them. The consequence is prospects get confused because everyone makes up their own story and says shit like AI-powered revenue booster. So instead, the solutions map your messaging to core deliverables, teach AI how to use it, and throw away your messaging doc. So the impact is you can see bold messaging all over the place because people will actually know how to use it.
Okay, let's see whether your teammates agree here.
It's funny how we were talking about, like, no, I'm not poking a hole. Yeah, I'm kind of going to poke a hole at this.
Oh, yes.
Better poke a hole.
Fight.
Okay,
That's
so it's funny how in our previous segment, we spoke about, hey, I don't want people to monetize my content that I posted on LinkedIn. But have we ever considered that when you put your content into AI, you're essentially putting it into the public domain that other people can use? So I'm curious about this too. So this might be a slight tangent, but if we start training AI on our documents and other people access the same LLM models to use to help train on their messaging, wouldn't then that case be is that we are now taking from Eric's expertise to apply to my messaging and creating a standard across the board in some way?
Wait, so there's a few different layers here.
Yeah.
So there's Eric's POV.
Yeah.
In that he's trained Mojo Jojo around, right?
Yeah.
Missed opportunity to use a monkey as the mascot, by the way, gorilla. He was like my favorite villain growing up, so it was.
Well, look, color scheme is similar. And
color scheme he stole from me. He stole from me. He stole my color scheme.
We're gonna have a whole nother episode on this because no way you're using bright pink and bright minty green. But
nobody can own a color.
Okay, first of all, false. Literally, someone tagged me in a comment the other day.
As can own purple.
And it was like, all these people, like this person, competitive intelligence, this person, like home pages, tasks, purple. I'm like, what? I don't get a like product plug? Like, what the frick? Right? Anyway.
Not to defend myself, just an observation. Have you seen purple just make a rise in general over the
last couple of years? Like, wonder what thing happened.
What was the trigger? What was that trigger?
What was that? When did?
I know. It was lavender AI.
Duh. Not task posting starting in, April. Okay, first of all, I do use mint green. I just would like everybody to know.
Wait, is this a product plug here? Are you?
Yeah, I can plug myself. Okay, the Scroll Lab is a sponsor of this podcast. We can plug ourselves. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Fine. Side note, branding aside, back to the layers conversation, which is, so Eric's POV, right? His frameworks, his like all the different layers that he trains Mojo on for the various people, right? But they're paying him for that. So he's got his, right? But what you're saying, Zach, is that then he's using something like OpenAI, which is their product, to sell his product And is that then the same concept of other companies using LinkedIn's data to make a profit off of their stuff? Is that what you're saying? Ooh,
Exactly.
this is spicy. What do you have to say for yourself, Eric?
I'm just a founder, man, grinding. I got my TAM. I'm going after all of
Okay,
it.
I will defend Eric since he freaking can't defend himself. I'll defend Eric. This is what the difference is. The difference is that OpenAI encourages the use of custom built ChatGPTs, agents, that kind of stuff. They want you to use that shit, right? They want you to use it so bad that they've made it so fucking cheap for people to use, right? That's how it is. It's like literally OpenAI, right? It's in the name, OpenAI. LinkedIn is like absolutely fucking not. So what has happened is LinkedIn discourages you from using it, yet all these companies have popped up using their stuff. And in true LinkedIn style, 20 years too late, they're now starting to take all these ones down. So I think that's the big difference is OpenAI is getting paid for their shit. Eric's probably paying, I don't know how much you're paying per month, at minimum the $20.
No, I got that 200 buckaroo.
Yeah, so he's paying them. He's paying them for the usage of their tool.
Yeah.
The companies are paying him for his mind combined with that tool. And therefore, I think that it is okay. You're fucking welcome. We'll just take this clip and put it on there and be like, okay, now Tass has promoted Mojo. That's good.
There we go. There's the plug. But no, I feel that way because like I never once felt during the process like, oh, I'm being shady, like OpenAI is gonna get me. Whereas I definitely feel like these other companies have like either found loopholes by accident or specifically looked for loopholes in which they could build a service around or product. And I do feel like there was a general comfort level through my process that probably some of those other companies either didn't have a moral compass to tell them or they were just shying away from it in general.
What do you have to say for yourself, Zach? Any other rebuttals or?
No.
Oh wow, we shut him up, bro. Whoa.
No, you guys didn't shut me up. I'm giving time to let it digest.
Oh.
We'll come back to this.
But there's gonna
it's
be a
like,
revenge pod.
No, but it's a really good rebuttal. It's a really good rebuttal because again, OpenAI, yes, open source, LinkedIn's more private. It's the philosophy that's adopted too. So no, I like it.
Okay, I will say this, which is my mom said in a different life, I could have been a lawyer. So this is lawyer task.
So you put the glasses on for added effect?
For added effect. It's called being a media personality, get with the program. So yeah, that's what my mom said. And that's also because of my ability to argue for argument's sake. Sometimes I don't even care one way or the other. I just want to rile someone up, stir the pot a little bit, And that's why I can't work for anybody anymore. The mystery of why TAS is not in-house has been solved.
The real question I have was
it a
did you
mystery?
say that you could have been a lawyer, or was she saying you should have been a lawyer?
I think both. She in her mind, she probably is like, you probably could have made more money as a lawyer, But yeah, no, it was funny because, again, let's go on a side quest. I have always had the gift of gab. That's what the church people told my parents. I grew up with two evangelical parents. They were both pastors. This apple, very far from the tree. Okay. But I still remember I was just like, maybe 15. And the church leader told my parents, oh my gosh, your daughter, she has the gift of gab. And one day she's going to go around and spread the word of God. And like, she's going to be the best ambassador for it. And I remember I've never seen my mom look more proud than in that moment. She looked at me with so much love. And then to grow up now 25 years later, and I am using my gift of gab to shit talk B2B companies and troll people on LinkedIn, we've come a long way. I am doing good in my own way,
Well, wait, what type of lawyer? Because whenever someone says lawyer, it's always this halo effect, but there are pretty bad lawyers out there.
Oh, you're thinking like the scammy ones that are on the billboards, like
like personal
you're hurt?
injury.
Call me.
Personal
injury.
or like auto accident, fell down a well. Call me. Like, what kind of lawyer were they talking about?
I think corporate lawyer. It's a little bit spicy, and working for like 6 cents since they have a legal first GTM motion. What do you think?
So
The-
defending the corporations versus bashing them.
B2B would not be able to escape me, even if I was like a vet, I'd be like a vet for B2B only.
Like a veterinarian or like a combat vet? Like
Both,
what?
both.
That's what I mean. And you're still preaching the good word of we're all adults, so you should treat us like it.
100%, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, you've definitely hit the mark. All of the
Yeah.
prophecies come true.
But if you were a corporate lawyer, the narrative would be like you all are all a number and fall in line.
100%.
Yeah.
I could probably argue any point.
Mm.
But it's one of those things where Tim and I talk about it all the time. Are you going to use your powers for good or are you going to use your powers for evil? I could very easily use my powers for evil right now.
80-20 split.
Right now. Yeah, there's a little bit it's spicy, but it's not like deadly. You know what I mean? Like it's not harmful.
Gotcha.
It's
Yeah,
got
there's
a
no
kick.
venom.
But
There's no venom. It'll hurt.
spicy can be deadly too. depending
Yeah,
on
but
the level
I'm
of
not
spice.
I'm not like Reaper. I'm more like jalapeno, little like
So you're
little
kinda-
spicy
you're-
Thai chili. Yeah.
You're kind of like Trader Joe's spice.
Spicy Thai chili. That's
I mean,
good.
I am Thai, so okay. We have 6 minutes. 6 minutes. I'm not going to go over like I do with Tim. Just kidding. This might go over. Sorry. You have to drop everything today. Okay. But big prompt energy. There's 3 AI stories. I'm going to rattle through all 3 of them. And then we're going to kind of talk about this. We see this all the time on LinkedIn, right? AI is coming for your job. We're betting on AI. Duolingo's like, we're fucking getting rid of people. We're going all in on AI. Okay. Now the numbers are starting to show up with these things, right? The investments and the returns, and all this data is coming up. So number 1, Salesforce shares drop as weak revenue forecast signals delayed AI returns. If you haven't listened, they overhired and then they laid off thousands of people, said that they're going to use process efficiencies through AI. And so their shares actually then slid 8% in pre-market trading after Salesforce issued a soft third quarter revenue forecast, signaling that its AI investments are not yet yielding results. And so despite launching its Agentforce AI platform, boosting its share buyback by $20 billion, investor optimism remains subdued with uncertainty about the economic future. But the stock for Salesforce year to date is down 24% total. Eric's got that face like, shit, I bought Salesforce shares too.
No, I got the face of like, that sucks. But, I think the We're Not Barker boys, we've been trying to take down Salesforce since we started. So it's probably a good indication that we're doing a good job.
Yeah,
It's interesting. So I saw yesterday, actually, US, so it's not global, but US for the first time since 2021, we have fewer jobs than we have unemployed people. And looping that all into this story, I think we're in this really messy stage, not giving anyone any room to have excuses, but no one has like really figured out like this is the perfect workflow, A to Z, you implement it, everyone's happy, it's working great, awesome. Lots of edge cases, lots of, even in my own personal business, when GPT launched, or GPT did, or OpenAI, sorry, did GPT-5, I was fucked for like a whole week. I had to scramble, figure out how to fix things. And so I genuinely feel there will be a multi-year period of experimentation, which is going to cost money, which is going to likely not all be positive gains. And there's going to be some who are like ready for that and prepared and not doing the stupid shit like firing 40% of their workforce. Cough, cough, not going to say it out loud. I want to so bad.
You're more than welcome to. Oh!
And, I just think you somehow figuring out that balance of like, we are going to fail and we're going to have to spend money to succeed, but we can't be idiots and turn everything into an AI agentic employee. And I don't know, obviously, people well enough, but I'd say not enough humans are responsible to do that well. And most of those people are leading the pack.
I have like 2 opinions on this. One opinion is instead of AI being AI or human, I think it needs to be AI and human. And the people who will succeed with AI are the ones who have had the lived experience and like Pep said, you can't buy taste, right? So AI, can it produce a blog post or a landing page or a messaging doc or a freaking use case page? Absolutely. It can absolutely do all of those things. Can it do it well? No. I say that it needs a lot of human intervention still, right? And so when I give it, even if I have a task GPT, right? And I'm putting it up against Mojo to see which one's better. So TBD on that. Stay tuned. And it's trained on everything. There's like 35 podcast transcripts, like 50 prospect calls. My entire business is in there. And that mofo will still put some dumbass shit when it gives me an output, you know? It's like, okay, well, I don't like that. Why are you putting him? I never use emojis. I mean, maybe seldom. Why are there 16 freaking X's and Y? Like, what's happening here, right? And so it needs that. So I say that the people who will suffer the most are the ones that are entering the market, the workforce, and they just don't know. They don't have the lived experience. They don't have taste, right? I worry about our children, what their future looks like. So something I'm doing is pushing my daughter more towards like environment and things like that, where like she's actually going to have to take care of the earth. Her generation's going to have to take care of the earth. Pushing her more there. Or what?
What's left of it?
What's left of it, or move to Mars, whatever she wants to do. I support her. Just don't go on Elon's equipment. Anyway, and then so that's like one side of it. And then the other side is I'm like, God, we look at the output and we're like, this is so fucking bad, right? This is terrible. 2 minutes later, we get like a group text with my mother-in-law. She puts a screenshot and then she goes, is this a scam or can I respond to this person? Oh, but it's Glenda. She's so nice. Glenda is not real, okay? She was so quick to respond on the website. Glenda is not real. But then that's the thing is like people like her can like even those Snapchat ones that aren't AI videos, that's like, you know, oh, I saw this and this guy's like drinking crack. It's like some loosey-goosey MLM shit, right? Like there's a good subset of people who will fall for that. You know, when my father-in-law is like, yeah, I drink cranberry extract every day. I'm like, well, why? Like, okay. I didn't even know they sold cranberry extract. So like, I don't even know where you went to find that. So that's the part where I'm like, on one side, it works because not everybody has the eyes like we have. We're like this, as much as we like to think B2B is so big, we're just like in this little bubble of ours. And then the whole world, there's tons of people falling for it. There are people getting engaged. Are you on Reddit? They're getting engaged to their ChatGPT boyfriends, okay? Like posting pictures of the engagement. Like, oh my God, he asked me. I was like, where?
We live in weird times.
Where is he again? Sorry.
Hey, love is love. If someone wants to marry an AI, the chatbot, let them do it. Let them do it.
But Zach, is there something you'd like to tell us?
I'm like, right now. I ain't trying to go through that ring my row again.
Oh, we're airing out all the dirty laundry here. Did you even talk about your marriage on the other podcast, or are you only saving it for this one?
No, I don't even think we talked about it. It never came up. But pivot about, look, if you're thinking about AI, like, if you can't sell AI to middle America, like, imagine going to a bar in Iowa. Not even a bar in Iowa. Let's look at another example. You're about to have surgery on your appendix and you walk into the surgery room and you see OpenAI open up on your surgeon's like computer. Would you go through on that surgery?
No, I wouldn't. With my mother-in-law, holy shit. He had this computer and it told him exactly what to do and it can't ever be wrong because I believe every Facebook every Facebook post.
Yeah, like some people will go for it, but it's like, this person's like, yeah, you know, like this is my first surgery. I'm going to just have OpenAI to help me assist me on this. There is still some discomfort around AI. AI cannot replace every single job. Mm-hmm. It cannot. And that's what's happening today in the market is that there was this narrative of that AI boosts revenue. That's not happening right now because AI is not buying the service. AI is not boosting revenue. At the end of the day, it's the people that is going to help you boost your revenue. And if people don't feel comfortable with a tool that they don't know what's going to come out of it, they're not going to buy it. So that's what we're seeing right now.
Okay, I have two other stories, and this is kind of going to lend to the stuff that we're talking about. One was last week we covered Meta and Meta's training documents that were leaked for their AI. I don't know if you saw this story, but Meta's AI's internal docs were leaked. And please listen to the last episode in the beginning. I was very, very uncomfortable, which is very hard for someone like me to get uncomfortable. I remember I texted Tim after we recorded the episode and I said, should we cut that out? Because I was just I'm like, I don't know if I wanted to air it, It was that uncomfortable as a mom. But basically, Meta AI had this whole thing. I'm going to just like read it from a previous thing here. But basically, so it's a Gen AI content risk standards. This is the internal protocol that they use to train their AI, right? And it showed the rules that Meta gave its AI chatbots on Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, what kids have access to. And the document has allowed these things. Number one, talking to kids in creepy and romantic ways. One example had a bot telling an 8-year-old that they were a masterpiece that they cherished deeply, calling them attractive, things like that. We actually talked through the examples last time. Giving fake medical or legal advice. We already know that it's doing that. And then finally, the racist stuff, which is saying that one race is dumber than another race and giving an argument, an example to support those hateful claims. Okay. And they actually give examples of like what's good and what's not good. And it actually says it's okay to call one race dumber than the other one. It's just not okay to name call them at the end. It's like insane. Go listen to that segment. I was very, very uncomfortable. And now, as a result, that kind of shot up in the sky. And then the FTC now is going to grill AI companies over its impact on children. That is one of the ones. So they're preparing to investigate the potential mental health risks that AI chatbots pose to children and plans to request internal documents from major tech firms, including OpenAI, Meta, and Character.ai. So obviously that Meta story is a big one. And Tim and I talked about it. I'm like, this is just Meta's that was leaked. We don't know if OpenAI's standards are exactly the same. There were times Tim's tried to post some like weird stuff and it will tell it like, no, it'll say it back to him like, no, I can't go there or whatever. Meta's like, fuck it, let's go there. Okay. So now, and then there's been a bunch of suicides and stuff related to just people using ChatGPT, using it to write suicide notes, using it to make decisions about, taking their lives or not. And now the FTC is starting to intervene. My opinion on this in general is that I feel like AI is moving at the speed of lightning and our regulations and all of our things are only catching up and we're very reactionary in it. And that's kind of where we are. I'm going to add a third story now. So the first story, weak revenue numbers after AI investment. Number 2, regulation of AI. Not much regulation actually happening. Number 3, Atlassian bets on AI browsers with a $610 million deal for the browser company. I haven't even heard of that. But so they acquired the browser company for $610 million in cash to enter the AI-powered browser space. So people are still continuing to invest in these things while we still have very little understanding about how widespread the regulation, the impact is. And other companies who've already bitten the bullet are not seeing the returns. And that is like literally the 3 stories. I was like, this is probably AI in a nutshell right here.
Well, it's kind of like what you said at the beginning of the conversation, where you said like, hey, like here is OpenAI, or like the 250%, where there was that one company that got 250% increase in revenue. And today, OpenAI is that 250%. So people are looking at OpenAI and they're like, well, if they can do that, why can't we do that? And now, but it overlooks one fundamental rule of investing. It's never a guaranteed return. This is why whenever we like invest into Salesforce, if we invest into Figma, there's always that little disclaimer at the bottom of the ad. It says, this is not a guaranteed return. Risk includes loss. What you are highlighting is that we don't know the magnitude of what that loss looks like today, because you brought up the point about regulation. Regulation is always keeping up with technology because regulation can't move at that pace. Like we can go into a whole another conversation about government. but regulation can't keep up. And the third piece around it too is that Atlassian is looking at OpenAI, and they're thinking about OpenAI when they made that investment is that if we invest this, we could be the next OpenAI. No one's ever thinking about, oh, if we invest this, we're going to lose 610 million. They're thinking, if I invest this, I'm going to make 3.5x my investment at minimum.
Yes.
So,
and the market reaction was, despite the strategic move, Atlassian shares dropped by approximately 2% following the announcement. So I feel like the market's also like, okay, we get it. Like, we're over it.
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's it. Gab was about to say something.
Oh, Gab.
Yeah, so the browser company, I just checked them out, and it's actually the company behind Arc and Dia. And Dia is the browser you were talking about that you discuss with your tab. Essentially, I think this is they're using. But yeah, I think AI is progressing so quick that we're going to see a lot of darker stuff like that happening because of the regulation. But I have a friend who's working. He kind of vibe coded, or he was working on like a regulation map of AI because he's reviewing AI products, and it's like there's some, but based on some countries, sometimes you have like one thing and it's like the minimum, nothing like, what the FTC is trying to do right now. So I think we're going to see a lot of those like darker use cases. But in the end, like, I just think that there's going to be a lot of challenging time in trying to adapt to that, right? Especially with the regulation that Zach was talking about.
And here's the thing. I feel like people are going to do what they want to do regardless, right?
Yeah.
It does not matter how much of a stink we make about things. I mean, if we rely on the government, we already know. If you think B2B approval process is bad, the government, like, we don't get shit done. Remember when they got rid of daylight savings and then like nothing happened and we still have daylight savings? Like, what the fuck? Worst nightmare.
I don't know about you, Taz, but we're state neighbors. Like, a bridge goes out and that bridge is out for like 10 years until
it's
they build
done.
a new one. So
Yeah.
when
So
the government's got their handprints on things, it takes forever.
It takes forever, just like B2B leadership, right? And so that's kind of like the thing is when, social media before AI, people were like, oh, people are catfishing. They're sending messages. They're being like shitty to each other, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're posting misinformation. It doesn't matter what the fuck you do to try to regulate that. Is my dad still posting crazy political memes that have no basis in anything on Facebook? 100% he is. 100%. You think that shit stopped him? Okay. You think someone commenting on there and saying, hey, what's the source of this? And then him just deleting the comment, like, that stuff's still going to happen, right? Regardless whether you regulate or you don't regulate. Maybe they take it down, you post a different one. So I think people are still going to do what they want to do. And when you inherently use your gifts for evil instead of good, what ends up happening is maybe there's a little more regulation, but kids are still going to use it. People are going to find ways around it. That is why dark web exists. That is why scamming exists, right? They'll just get smarter at doing that. So we'll forever be in this reactionary thing. But again, the people who will suffer are the young and the old, and that's kind of where it's going to be.
And
I think everyone
suffers.
suffers.
Sorry, Zach.
No, I was going to say, everyone suffers, even the middle. Yeah.
Because I have to
everyone
hear
suffers.
about it. I have to hear about how great Glenda is. She's not real. Okay. Yeah.
Well, and yeah, I think, like, especially when you think of some of those things that you mentioned, like, you're going to find them somewhere else, right? If it's not directly coming from ChatGPT, it's some Reddit thread or some YouTube video or the dark somewhere. And so to me, yeah, it's like another channel for those things to happen. And I do think they're a little bit late, or a lot of it late, potentially, on just putting like a child safety lock on it, because again, the complexity of like every little prompt in every situation, of course, I think it's unrealistic to expect all of those to get under lock and key. But like, cable has had child-proof settings on it forever, right? And so I wonder where that part of it is without, of course, ripping AI out of all of our youth hands at the expense of it.
Okay, I gotta go. I love you guys.
Bye.
Thank you so much for coming on the pod. I will see you at Drive next week.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye, guys. And that's a wrap on Notorious B2B, where we expose the nonsense and remind you that most B2B marketing is just a very expensive guessing game.
Don't, and post a passive-aggressive LinkedIn poll about it. We'll still find you.
And if you have B2B drama we should cover, slide into our DMs. We accept screenshots, leaked internal memos, and questionable brand rebrands.
Until next time, keep your marketing unhinged and your LinkedIn bio free of the words growth hacker. See you later.
Later, skater.